Hi, I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'd love to invite you to our Advent series here at the Village Church. This year we're going to be focusing on one of the wonderful expressions of praise and worship ever found in the New Testament, and that's Mary's Magnificat, that wonderful song of praise in Luke chapter 1 that is so memorable. And it's such a rich store of truth, biblical truth, that we're going to take some time to unpack it during this entire Advent season. The first message in the series is entitled The Personal Advent. This angelic visit of Mary has a personal and deep impact upon Mary, which results in an expression of praise that is unmatched in the New Testament. In addition to that, it evokes in her a real sense of deep humility that God would show favor to her, this insignificant teenager from an out-of-the-way backwater place called Galilee. And so that's a wonderful opportunity to understand the effect that the Advent season ought to have on us personally. Now, the second message has to do with the mercy of Advent. Mary recognizes in her song that this coming of Christ, that this incarnation of the Son of God, is all about the mercy of God, in which the superior shows favor on the inferior without regard to their earning it. And so the compassion of God is on display, as well as the actions of God in doing for us things that we could never do for ourselves is all about the mercy of God. So we'll be looking at that in the second message in the series. In the third message, we'll be talking about the upside down Advent, because Mary recognizes in her song that the coming of Christ turns the world's values upside down. The oppressed and disenfranchised are lifted up, and the rich and the powerful are set aside, because kingdom values begin to replace the way the world ordinarily does business, and that's invested in the incarnation. And then the fourth message in the series has to do with the promise of Advent. The promise is rooted in God's covenant with Abraham, in which He promises that through the seed of Abraham, all the nations of the world would be blessed. And so the promise is not just for the Jewish people, it's for people of all stripes, all ethnicities, all backgrounds, all nations are to be blessed by the coming of the Son of God, and that's the promise that God made centuries before. And then the final message, which will take place on Christmas Eve, is entitled The Fellowship of Advent. We know we can't enjoy this kind of extraordinarily good news by ourselves. We can't keep it to ourselves. We have to share it. We have to experience it together as a community. And Mary does that because she spends time with her cousin Elizabeth, reflecting on the very special times that they've both had with angelic visits. Elizabeth herself is about ready to give birth in her old age to John the Baptist, and so there are some special times that they share together. And of course, our tradition during the holidays is to experience Advent with our friends and with our families in very significant ways. And so the fellowship of Advent is also expressed in Mary's wonderful song, the Magnificat. We hope that you'll join us for this special Advent series. If you are unable to participate in the morning worship services or hear them broadcast live, you can certainly catch the rebroadcast during the week, as well as check out our website, villagechurchshellpoint.org. For all of those messages, you can find them, and we hope that you'll get in the Christmas spirit and enjoy Advent together with us as we examine the Magnificat.